Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum for candidates for City of Monroe Council Position 5. I'm Sue Renhard, member of the League. This forum is being live streamed to our League YouTube channel. To those in the virtual space, thank you for joining us. We refer to these primary forums as virtual doorbelling. We will ask a series of short questions, the kind of questions you might ask if a candidate came to your door. Our questions are designed to give you a clear idea of each candidate's experience and the issues they believe are important to address. The recording of the forum will be available on the same YouTube channel for later viewing. Let me provide some background on the position. Council members manage basic public services like sewer, water, fire, police, roads, parks, etc. They establish and enforce local laws affecting individuals and businesses, including local taxes. They control how land can be used, and they provide direction to the mayor or the city manager. They also manage relationships with other governments, nonprofits, and businesses for the benefit of city residents. Candidates for Monroe Council Position 5 are Junelle Lewis, Will Schlegel, and Jacob Walker. The League thanks all the candidates for running for office, for their willingness to serve the community if elected, and for participating in this forum. It's the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose candidates or parties. We do take positions on issues which we've studied and on which we have reached consensus. The rules for participation were sent ahead of time to all participants, and they have agreed to engage in respectful communication throughout the forum. Let me briefly explain the question and answer period rules, and then we can begin. I will pose the questions and will clearly state the amount of time allowed for each answer. We're using a countdown timer visible to all candidates, and time limits on answers will be strictly enforced. I will change the starting order for each question, alternating candidates in the starting position to ensure a fair sequence. The order for the first question will be Jacob Walker, Junelle Lewis, and Will Schlegel. Let's begin. Candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to this first question. We start with Jacob Walker. The question is, what are the major issues you feel need to be addressed by this office? Please explain why you're focusing on these issues. You will have 2 minutes. Mr. Walker.
Yeah, thank you guys for putting this on. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks to everyone tuning in. I would start by saying that Monroe has seen rapid expansion in the last 10 years. I think that as the word got out about Monroe, families from all over the area made the decision to move out here to experience the tranquility and community that our city offers. And I think that our infrastructure and our amenities still have some catching up to do. Being that a city government's primary responsibilities are infrastructure, safety, economic well-being and vitality, and community, our residents have my promise that I will fight tooth and nail, creatively and strategically to fulfill all of these responsibilities in a way that will make them even prouder to say that they live in Monroe.
Thank you. Timer, please reset the timer. This question will go to Ms. Lewis.
Ms. Renard, we need to ask the other 2 candidates the first question. Let's keep the time at 2 minutes, and let's go to the second candidate for the first question. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis.
Thank you. First, I do want to thank you all for the opportunity of being here tonight. So some issues for me, one of the main issues for me that if I were elected to city council is definitely our affordable or attainable housing crisis that we're in right now. Something for me, looking back at the housing action plan that was adopted in June of 2021, there are some very well thought out strategies and plans in that housing action plan. And for me, I would like to see some of those strategies come into play. Back in 2015, half of our residents here in Monroe were considered cost burden. So for me, it's very important that our residents have that attainable housing. I would like to see more multifamily units in Monroe, whether it be townhomes, duplexes, triplexes, whatever that may be. But I want to definitely, that's something that's a pressing issue for me. Another thing that is on my plate, if elected to city council, is I would like an increase in community engagement and collaboration. I do feel that this is our town. This is where we live. This is our livelihood. And, you know, it's nice to have surveys, but it's another thing to actually go into the community, into the neighborhoods and talk to our residents. I would like to have like town halls, just getting to know people and getting to know their needs, because that's how we make things better, by talking to the people, opening up dialogue, and just, you know, having that relationship. I'd also like to increase local small business support and engagement. Our local businesses, that is what we, you know, that's what we thrive on. So in keeping in line with our Imagine Monroe statement, that is something that I would like to focus on as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Schlegel, you will also have 2 minutes.
Thank you. This is a great forum, and I'm so glad I get to see Junelle and Jacob also wanting to run. The major issue that I see is an issue that all cities battle against, and that is contradiction. And I'll quickly cite 3 examples. Skykomish River versus high density housing imbalance. State agencies are trying to protect our river to increase salmon population. High density housing in Monroe will forever destroy any hope of protecting that river due to uncontrollable pollutants. Another contradiction is Monroe versus legislation plurality. Politicians at the state level are binding the hands of our police from them protecting us safely. Citizens want to do something, but they're not being trained to protect themselves or their businesses. And third is the power versus the people injustice. When I was working for Riverview School District, which covers the Duval and Carnation, myself and others were experiencing a hostile workplace environment, which included harassment, intimidation, bullying, sex discrimination, work contract violations. All of this is public record. All of it is documented. Who was involved? Corey Lorish, the union chapter president, the HR director, and the superintendent. When all this document was brought to the school board, they were silent. When it was sent to the Duval Police Department, they were silent. When it was sent to the Duval City, they were silent. A hostile workplace is the last step before a violent workplace. I'm trying to protect children there, and all of that is silent. I want to come and protect the citizens of Monroe and find a way to bring more balance between the citizens and the government. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidates will have 90 seconds for the next 2 questions. Timer, please adjust the clock. This question will go first to Junelle Lewis. What qualifications and experience make you a good choice to address these issues? 90 seconds. Ms. Lewis, you may begin.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I currently work as an attendance specialist for the Monroe School District. So that gives me a lot of opportunity to advocate for families who have barriers to just the basic needs of life. So I feel like there I get a lot of experience. I'm also a small business owner here in Monroe. So I've gone through the process of opening up a business and, you know, it was a process. And so I take that experience into this role as well. I'm not afraid to have difficult conversations, just realizing that not everyone is going to agree. Not everyone is going to, be happy with the decisions that are made, but just having a mutual respect and a mutual understanding that this community belongs to all of us. And so, we have to live together, and try to live together in harmony. We need people in these positions, and I definitely consider myself one who values and recognizes the importance of economic diversity in our community. I also bring a fresh perspective I would bring a fresh perspective to the city council, being a Black woman, also a minority small business owner, mother of 8 children here who have attended schools here. We need diversification in our local governments. So I don't speak for every minority, but majority of, the representation on the city council now does not have a reflection of how the demographics of Monroe. So, Monroe is becoming diverse. So.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Mr. Schlegel?
Yes, thank you. As I mentioned before, in a hostile workplace environment, I tried to advocate for a safe workplace, which required following school policies, procedures, state laws. It takes a lot of research and understanding to be able to come up with proper procedures. I've also worked pioneering a humanitarian aid work in the country of Turkey for 12 years. While I was learning the language, cultures, and traditions, I was also working with migrating immigrants, local citizens, and government officials in different cities. From these experiences and many more, I know that working hard is a strong advocate for getting to the bottom and coming up with right solutions. That working collaboratively and having an independent thought is a natural skill set that I have. I also I lead a safety committee and also run the safety drills and transportation training for my place of employment. In short, the reason I am the choice for the city council is because I bring small community passion. I have a global work and view experience, and my interest in supporting individual rights is about protecting everybody's individual rights equally. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yeah, thank you very much. I've been an engaged member of our city my entire life, so I know our community really well. I've worked in multiple sectors that are all relevant to policy, including real estate, governance and risk management, and insurance. I've served on our city's Economic Development Advisory Board and have now proudly served on our Planning Commission for 2 years, while also running my small business with my wife, and I'm a proud father of a 6-month-old son. For years, I've had the pleasure to know and to have learned from many of our elected leaders at the city, county, and even state level. I've been a student of leadership my entire life. And all things considered, I feel that I've got a great blend of experiences and exposures that will be of really great benefit to our city. So.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Our next question will also be 90 seconds, and we'll start with Will Schlegel. Councils, commissions, and boards are required to deliberate and make decisions in public, and to hear from those whose ideas may differ. Please give us an example that demonstrates your ability to work this way. Mr. Schlegel?
I will give you a couple in such a short time. Friends and coworkers of mine would say that I'm even-tempered and thoughtful with my words. Some can mistake that as being a contrarian, in that I may sound like I'm a devil's advocate. The truth is, if I cannot defend both sides of a subject, I don't think it's fair for me to be able to make a good decision on a subject. During this election season, I've been door knocking, meeting with people out there in their houses and fielding questions. When it comes to public speaking, I've spoken to groups as small as 300 and as large as 500. As for hearing views that are different, I have been in the employment of companies that have active DEI programs. And during those years, coworkers would come up and confide in me with their feelings about the DEI program. I have listened to my coworkers, and I've asked them penetrating questions so I could really understand both sides of the story. So when it comes to issues like DEI or whatever, I'm capable of understanding and debating in favor of both sides. And that's what I do. I meet people, I find the opposite sides, I deliberate, and I understand what's going on so I can make better decisions, understanding how it affects both sides. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, we'll go to Mr. Walker.
Yeah, thank you. And well said, Will, thank you. I would start by saying that the cornerstone of government is compromise. Compromise is the anvil of good policy. And since I first learned about government, I've had a profound respect for the importance of discourse and giving our citizens the best outcome possible. I mentioned that I grew up here, and in high school, debate was my passion. In debate, you would be assigned a for or against, whether you liked that side or not. And I can proudly say that I was the Monroe High School debate champion of 2015, for whatever that's worth. And I was actually advocating in that round on behalf of a position that was not even my own. And I say that because it demonstrates that I respect and see the value in other positions just as much as my own. So thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Lewis.
Thank you. So I definitely feel that open dialogue is with those who have different views is really how we build community. My personal lived experiences of engagement with a wide variety of residents, whether it's at the school district or on the planning commission, through our small business, it's something that would help me be successful in this position. I love open dialogue. I love talking to people, whether we agree or not. I feel like that's how you really get to the root of issues. That's how you learn people, by engaging with them and, having that open dialogue. No matter where I go, I know there's always going to be someone that has a different idea from me. Does that mean that it's any less important than what I feel or what I believe? No, it doesn't. And I think that part of being a leader is being able to sit and listen, not listen to respond, but listen to hear what they're saying. I also feel like my ability to respect and listen to others is something that will definitely benefit me. While I do have my own core set of beliefs, I understand that not everyone sees everything through Junelle's eyes. And it's important to move into a way that embodies inclusivity for everyone, right? So everyone feels like they're being heard. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Timer, please note that candidates will have 60 seconds for our final question. We will start with Jacob Walker. The question is this: please tell us something about your life experience that might surprise or intrigue voters. You will have 60 seconds. Mr. Walker?
Yeah, I was thinking about this one for a while, and I actually came into this not knowing what I was going to say. But I think the thing that comes to mind is I actually, not to reference high school again, but I actually graduated high school with the senior project of following our recently elected mayor, Jeffrey Thomas, at the time in 2014. And my project was on the Main Street renovation of 2014 as well. So I was following that through the city council, through the mayor, through the consultation of businesses and voters and community forums. And so I think that may have been kind of the genesis of the idea of mine that I wanted to serve in local government, because I saw the change that it could make in our community, both physically and for the community. So yeah, thank you guys again for putting this on, and Junelle and Will. It is a pleasure to see you both.
Thank you. Ms. Lewis, same question.
All right. So there are many facets to Junelle. My life experience here in Monroe has been a journey, and it has ignited a fire inside of me to actively support my community through work, through serving. Working for our local school district has taught me a lot about public education. On the weekends, I double as a server for our community through my business, through our business, Avery's Chicken and Waffles. You know, I'm working to get my master's right now in education. I'll have it in December. And I run a house of 10. So serving is what I do, not just for my family, but it's what I do. It's what I was called to do. And whether I agree with you or not, whether you have $1 million home or you're couch surfing, everyone's, their experiences, their viewpoints are valid. And I think that my desire to see everything, you know, like that is what's going to help me be successful. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Mr. Schlegel, same question.
When I was young, a friend of mine was murdered by her husband. My brother, who lived next door, raced over, couldn't save her. The husband escaped. As soon as I found out, I drove down to his family's home in Tijuana. Even though he was an illegal immigrant, we become friends, and I got to know where he lived. A short time later, I crossed the border, talked to Border Patrol. They got a hold of federal agents. Together with the federal agents and the Mexican federales, we raided the home and captured the murderers. There are bad people in the world, and there are good people in the world. And I believe there's a lot of room for collaboration between the citizens and the police, and the citizens and the council and members. And that's what I would do. I would really encourage the collaboration so that we can all go and raise up and make Monroe a great place. Thank you.
Thank you. The League appreciates these candidates for joining us and for running for office. A recording of this forum and others will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and YouTube channel. Find links at lwvsnoho.org. That's lwvsnoho.org. We encourage you to explore additional information about these and all candidates. The Snohomish County voter pamphlet will be mailed to residences starting July 12th. Primary election ballots will be mailed starting July 13th, and Election Day is August 1st. Please be a voter. Thank you to our League Candidate Forum team, and special thanks to Dave Moon and the Sultan School students at turkpride.tv who made this live stream possible. And of course, thank you all for joining us. This concludes our candidate forum.
Thank you.